bring this regular meeting of the Pueblo West Board of Directors, December 8th, 2025 to order. Roll call, Bree.
Good afternoon, Board of Directors. Brianne Mignoni, District Clerk. Director Pasternak.
Here.
Director Potter.
Here.
Director Roberts.
Present.
Vice President Axworthy.
Here.
And President Vickers.
Present. Next is the approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
A second.
I have a motion to approve the agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we'll have the invocation by Mr. Robert Hernandez, our Pueblo West Fire Department Fire Chaplain.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to share with you all how grateful I am for the gift you serve this community, the blessings of being able to come and ask the Lord to lead us and guide us throughout this year in our board meetings. Now, will you please bow your heads with me? So tonight, dear Lord, I give thanks for your Son, Jesus, that as we celebrate this month, the gift of life, health, and family, I pray that everyone that is here today will have a blessed Christmas along with their families, safe travel, and as we go through this board meeting tonight, that we count all the blessings that you have given to this community through this board and the members of the personnel of the Metro Board of Pueblo West that comes and represents their departments, that every decision that you lead them and guide them to bring to this board meeting is your guidance. So tonight, we thank you for everyone that's present here tonight, and we give you thanks. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Potter, would you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Public comments.
Good evening, Board of Directors. Again, Brianne Mignoni, District Clerk. We have two that have signed up for public comment. First up is Mr. Joe Mahaney at 159 West Mangrum Drive, and it's about the web page.
Joe Mahaney, 159 West Mangrum Court. 6 months ago or so, I was kind of critical of the website, and they kept forcing me to go on to Facebook, which I don't like. I think that's a farce and yada, yada, yada. But anyway, I'm here tonight to compliment whoever changed our website or improved it. It's now, in my opinion, very user-friendly, and it has all of the backup data and everything easy to access that's going to be presented tonight at the board meeting. So I'd recommend anybody that wants to find out what's going on here to go to our website and scrap the idea of Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe.
And thank you for the compliment for our staff. They have been working hard at doing just that, make it more user-friendly.
And our second public comment comes from Kevin. And Kevin, I'm going to botch your last name. Would you be able to pronounce that, please?
Yeah, Mamalji.
Mamalji. Okay. And his is P.O. Box 100 at Florence, Colorado, and it's an introduction.
Good evening, Mr. President, distinguished members of the board, staff. My name is Kevin Mamalji. I'm the owner and managing editor of the Florence Reporter print newspaper over in Florence, Colorado, just your neighbors down the street. I had the opportunity to join, of course, a few of the board members a few weeks ago, along with members of, I think it's VFW 5812, for the Purple Heart dedication. So have a write-up in our most recent edition. I wanted to make sure and bring some copies over to you guys and just kind of introduce myself. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Appreciate
Thank
that.
you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Next, we have director's comments. Mr. Axworthy.
None at this time.
Correct, Mr. Roberts.
I do have some comments. In honor of our holiday season, Merry Christmas, Mele Kalikimaka, Feliz Navidad. This time of the year, we recognize that there was the birth of a small child named Jesus Christ. While still in the womb, his parents traveled afar to be counted for taxes. Today, we deal with taxes every day of our life. As elected officials, in the spirit of my faith and my moral compass, we make tough decisions going on into the future. And those decisions are for those who elected us. I have taken the oath of office, oath of service twice, over 34 years of governmental service to not only our country, our state, and our local community. So as we go into the new year, remember, it is the needs of the many that outweigh the few. And with that being said, I hope all of our board members focus on that moral compass and make good decisions tonight and into the future. On top of that, I want to publicly apologize to Christian for snapping his head off on Friday's work session. I was asked one of my constituents what they thought, and then I saw a different view of what was being asked of me. So I do want to apologize, Christian. Thank you.
Appreciate that, Greg. Thank you. Thank you, Greg. Mr. Potter?
Nothing at this time, thank you. I just, I do want to thank the staff and everybody for doing their due diligence and everything and just working hard to keep this district going. Sometimes you get comments on there and you're just like, where do these come from? But regardless of those comments, we work forward and look forward to making this district a better place. And that's, I think every single one of us here have that in mind. Again, I said it at the beginning, none of us are perfect people except for one. And I just want to still appreciate what everybody's doing. We're going to have our disagreements, that's to be expected, but we'll work through them and charge forward and make sure, we're all playing our part, doing our part to make this district a better place and a better community as best we can.
Thank you. Mr. Pasternak?
Sure. I just wanted to do a quick shout out to the all the firefighters, and I did a ride along at Station 1. Spent a good 10.5 hours there. Rios, Burns, and Lingo, I hung out with them for 10.5 hours. I can't imagine staying there for 48 hours. And fortunately and unfortunately, we only had one call, pretty minor. I just wanted to thank them for their information. I learned a ton about all the equipment and firefighting and everything, and the salmon dinner was excellent, so I'll be back, if only for that.
I just want to say thanks to the employees too and all that they did for the parade. That was really a nice time. We had a lot of floats. It was fun to get together. The weather cooperated, so they all did a great job. And I would encourage each of your board members to try to make a ride along with the fire department, because it is an experience and it kind of will open your eyes a little bit. So, with that said, good. All right, let's go on to the consent agenda. Guys, good with everything that's on that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
A motion second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll open a public hearing for the 2026 proposed water and sewer rates. That'd be Mr. Jeffrey D. Herrera and Mr. Jim Blazing, our director.
Good evening, President Vickers, members of the board, Jim Blazen, Director of Utilities, and And Jeffrey DeHamer, Deputy Director of Utilities Administration.
So we're here in front of you, sorry. We're here in front of you for the proposed water and wastewater rates. We're proposing 15% water increase and a 5% wastewater increase. We looked at it, we've been working on it since probably May of this year. We continue with aging infrastructure, distribution, or water distribution systems. 50 years old, we have 400 miles of that. Collection system, 140 miles. Continually try to improve on those with our capital and O&M. We're faced with increased regulations with CDPHE. The treating and the regulations continue also in our wastewater collection system. We're continuing to replace our filters that have a 20-year effective lifespan. And we started on that about 3 years ago actively, and we wish we could continue to do so. We'll continue lining our collection system and our manholes for the I&I, infiltration and inflow. And we just started on that. And we have 2,500 manholes in front of us to, what we're trying to do is seal the manholes with a device that keeps the I&I out of it so we don't have to treat stormwater coming into our wastewater plant. So that's the opening remark, and I'll turn it over to Jeffrey for any details.
Yeah, so we came back, we know there were some requests for more information from the board when we presented about a month ago. Just as a reminder, what it means for most of our customers most of the time, if you're a water-only customer, it'd be $6.40 a month. And if you are a water and sewer customer, it'd be $9.52 a month. I don't know, I know we had a lot of pages, but can we scroll to one that has some blue and green on it? It's probably, I know there's a
lot of pages.
There
There
are
is.
a lot of pages. A few more, I think. Oh, that one. So there was a question of how much the readiness to serve would mean on the water side, there in the blue being water and green being sewer. On the water side, it would amount to $638,000, almost $639,000 on the water side. On the sewer side, it'd be $161,000. So down below in yellow total, it'd be right at $800,000 is what the readiness to serve means with this proposed increase. And then can we go down? I think it was down one. No, must have been up one, sorry. There was also a question about the water resource fee, if it had been as first presented in the fall of 2021. You could see there on the bottom left, that water resource fee was $26,500. So the top box there is the proposed rate increases that we came up with Colorado Rural Water Association. The bottom is what it would be with that $26,500 water resource fee. So as proposed, it's $27,232.97 total for a water connection. That's all the fees included. If that water resource fee were higher, that price would be $47,772.97, and then it escalates up based on tap size. And you can see the multiplier there in the third column because a 1 inch equals 2 3/4, inch and a half is 4 3/4, 8 or 2 inches 8 3/4 inch meters, and a 3 inch would be 18 3/4 inch meters. So using that escalator, that would be your totals on the end. If the board were to approve the 2021 water resource fee that was originally presented, then that firm came back and presented lower numbers back in the spring of 2022. So that's what that would mean. Any questions about that so far?
I've heard some comments from contractors saying that the cost to have a tap on the contractor side is getting pretty ridiculous for Pueblo West. So that's a concern in terms of growth.
I definitely think it would slow if it were those higher numbers. honestly, it's a hard number to nail down totally. Do I think it stopped? Probably not, but I definitely think it would slow building, yes.
So I know we've had conversations in the past about the amount of water we have for full build out. We were just given this report, which we're going to be going over here shortly, but I would hope that this would be the last water rate increase we see until we have a definitive plan on how we're going to have enough water for full build out and what that will cost us before we do any more analyzing of water rate increases. We're ready to serve fee.
On the readiness to serve fees. So if the water readiness to serve fee, I think, was going to generate $800,000. Do we have definitive programs that we're going to spend this on, or does this just go into our savings account?
Well, it would go into the capital fund in 2025, or 2026, sorry. But after 2026, we're verging on needing financing to complete capital projects, so it would go all towards that.
So at the end of 2026, any capital projects beyond that are going to need to be financed?
Almost exclusively, yes. I think we're projected to have about $3 million at the end of 2026 in the capital fund.
That's
assuming
we do all the projects.
Correct, yeah. And that's tough to do. That hasn't happened, yes.
Yeah.
That's tough to do, so there's probably going to be more. But yeah, in 2027 still though, yeah.
So-
Something in 2027 would likely need to be.
Refresh my memory, how much do we have in capital projects fund?
Estimated here at the end of this year, 2025, is, I believe, 18 to 20 million,
Okay.
somewhere in that range.
Another 20-some scheduled on top of that, is that right?
Another, 45 million total in the next 5 years, so.
And
Just- I go quick references for.
let me just ask one more. So what, the 45 million, what's coming up that we're faced with? The state mandated sewer expansion?
That's the biggest one. That's probably a little bit more than half of that, yes.
Okay. And we have no control over that?
Nope, that's regulation.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And on the sewer capital fund, I believe we're gonna have about $10 million at the end of this year. So I was speaking about water earlier, water 18 to 20, sewer is about 10, so.
Okay. So initially, I was going to propose or throw out there for discussion that we keep the proposed rate increases for consumption, because people have some control over that. The fees are, they have no control, they get charged. And I was thinking about both of them, but seeing the water, what the water is projected to bring in, how would you fare about doing away with this ready to serve on the sewer side? I think that was 169,000. And the impetus is that I think we've had rate increases for the last 10 years, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Very close, yes.
Okay.
If not, yes.
I mean,
Very close, yeah.
And I know we talk about $9 a month as, inconsequential, but there's some people out there that $9 a month means a lot to. So that's what I was going to throw out, is that we, it's a hard line to look at, but I think it's time maybe for a break for our water consumers at some point, at some level. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out for discussion, if you guys want to talk about it or not. But I would leave the consumption increases in place.
I know I was the one that asked about the chemical increase in cost and chemical and so on and so forth. I'm not sure. I mean, it did show that there were increasing costs, but we've been with these same people. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I don't know a lot of this stuff as far as in trying to learn it, but we've been with these companies for, according to this, at least over 5 years now.
Or more than that.
Or more than that. What have we looked at to go outside of these companies and look for cutting costs and to get in different vendors that might be a much more reasonable pricing?
I was gonna say, Kevin
Yeah,
probably got
Kevin.
that answer for you. By the way, Kevin took me on a tour of the wastewater last Tuesday.
Yes. Well, board,
Impressive 3-hour tour. Felt like it after I got done walking and everything.
Kevin Love, Deputy Director, Utility Operations. So we did do some quick analysis on our chemicals. Some of those are proprietary blends that we use for pre-disinfection, and there's no real way around that other than switching our infrastructure, such as our storage tanks and our generators that mix these chemicals together. So there would be some form of infrastructure cost to switch those out to another manufacturer's specific blend. In regards to some of those proprietary blends that we utilize in our in our water treatment. So we're not buying off-the-shelf products. These are specifically designed for pre-disinfection or coagulants, things of that nature.
But couldn't you find somebody that does that, would make the proprietary blend for us? Somebody that might be able to do it at a better cost
Those blends
analysis?
are
Or
specific to the manufacturer.
Is
We
it
have
just-
done some initial discussions with other manufacturers.
it
Those
just
are
seems like they have a
ongoing.
monopoly on us then.
What was
Instead of- It seems like they would have a monopoly on us, and then instead of being able to resource other vendors or other people that could possibly manage our treatment,
Potentially, yes.
that just seems kind of pigeonholing us.
So there are other concerns with the regulatory bodies. We have to get pre-approved for other additional chemical testing. We are not allowed to just start testing whatever chemicals we would like. We have to get permission to do so. About the time I was being onboarded, there were some conversations with another chemical company, which we're likely to pursue in the coming year to try and
So what's different for Pueblo is not the same for Springs or
depends on
Denver
their
or?
process. It's all process regulated. It's dependent on what they do, how they filter.
Right, but it just seems like we're not, I mean, I guess there's been discussion, it just seems very strange how we can get pigeonholed into one company that can just raise rates if they want to.
So me and Kevin did have that conversation on our tour. There's certain state certifications and requirements that are in place to get the other vendors approved for their proprietary blends. Like you said, there's some cost in changing over the generators to put all that together and push it out, but we also talked about trying to purchase those viable chemicals that don't break down over time and lose their effectiveness. One of them being muriatic acid, chlorine, however you want to look at it, loses its strength after about, 3-4 months, you said? So can't really store a bunch of that on site, but then we talked about bundling with the vendor and negotiating a price for our chemicals over a year's span to lower that cost, to include the shipping of those chemicals. And we would put that money up front, just like you would if you were bundling with Comcast or Highline Internet, okay? But when you bundle, there's a savings. So needless to say, without having the storage capacity to store that for a year and keep the viability of those chemicals active, I suggested the bundling technique. Let's renegotiate with them, say, hey, we want to buy a year's worth, okay, at a fixed price, and you got our money up front. You can choose to invest that how you see fit to make more money off of it, but at the same time, we're saving money for the taxpayers and the people who use the water. Any insight on that?
Well, those are potential options, as long as it doesn't go against our procurement policies. Most of the time, those contracts are negotiated up front to ensure we have what we need when we need it, since we're a critical infrastructure.
The other thing I would hope is that if we did follow that process and we secure our chemicals in that manner, that we would be guaranteed that there would not be a shortage of those chemicals for our facility into the future. Where other people, they could call up and say, hey, I need 800,000 gallons of muriatic acid. And then, we got a shortage right now. And we spoke about that too. So, there is discussion. There is no stupid question. And the only way we find the right answers is by testing it. So, we got 5 pretty good people here on this board, and they all brainstorm. We got good employees that brainstorm. So, I kind of agree with Bill on the ready to use issue. Now that I've heard it, so that's all I have as far as discussion on this.
I'm kind of confused on this chemical. So you can't take this proprietary blend and go to from company A. Do they make it and then drop it off?
It's their product.
Their product. So can you take that, whatever it is, and say to company B, they won't tell you what it is, blah, 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 blah. Okay.
No, sir.
Hence proprietary. Okay. I don't know. I just think there's got to be other chemical companies. Where's this company from? Colorado or somewhere
I'm
else?
not sure their exact location.
Okay.
It's a black site.
Yeah.
They have a Colorado office,
Yeah.
where they're headquartered, I'm not sure.
What's their billing?
Dallas, Texas,
I would guess Texas, yeah.
Chicago, Illinois.
and Chicago, Illinois.
I just find it hard to believe you can't go to
Yeah,
shop it around.
that's got me mind boggled right now.
Yeah, we
I
just
find that hard to believe. I mean, what? Do you guys? When's the last time you shopped it?
So I know when I was being onboarded, there was discussions ongoing with a different manufacturer of a different product for specific chemicals we need. And so that would also have to be approved by the state prior to that testing.
It's basically like setting up a pilot program. And you'd have to run for probably a couple years just because of seasonal changes in the water.
And just add, the increases we see are not unique to us, they're national increases. They're in line with what we're seeing nationally too. So they're not just unique to us and our vendors.
So unlike our pantry shelves, we just can't go buy generic or Walmart brand, right? Great value.
Unfortunately.
We're looped into a specific vendor at this time. I'd like to see us get away from that, make it more competitive.
We can just raise our prices at will.
So in some instances with the Purate, which is a proprietary blend, the unit cost did go slightly up, but because of a trade surcharge or fuel surcharges, those are increased those costs as well. So it's not necessarily just the chemical, it's all the other fees associated with it.
So in 2008, when the housing market crashed, we saw diesel reach $5.25 a gallon. Everybody was using a fuel surcharge, especially our sanitation companies that would come pick up our trash. Maintain that surcharge over the years, even though the economy got better after 2010, and fuel prices dropped. And as of this weekend, we are at a historic low of an average of $2.45 across the nation for regular gas, $3.02 on diesel for the first time since 2021. And I guarantee you, everybody's gonna want to keep that fuel surcharge on there because it's extra money rather than just give us a credit and say, hey, we're reducing it. And we need to challenge these companies on that based on the fact that the taxpayers, our constituents, our voters, been taking it in the shorts ever since 2008, as far as I have personal knowledge of, when it comes to surcharges for fuels and fees. Everybody wants a fee for something. I mean, even when you process your online water payment, there's a fee. And you acknowledge that fee before you submit. Okay? So, everybody wants a slice of the pie. You get a pay increase. The insurance company, medical, wants a higher premium, larger copay. Then your car insurance, then your home insurance. Everybody wants a slice of that pie. So how do we stop that vicious animal? Somewhere along the line, we got to say no, is what I say. And we have to start out, we got to start looking for other resources and put those people in that industry in check. Until they feel the impact themselves, they're going to keep doing what they're doing, which is called the industry standard of raising rates across the board. I'm sure everybody remembers almost $20 a dozen eggs not long ago. There was memes going across the internet where you had people on Valentine's Day presenting a dozen eggs to their loved one on their knee. I have a gift for you. The gift of costing more money. How do we stop that? That's what we got to start looking at in this district. Thank you.
Dad?
I think I'm trying to find the numbers, but
Oh, I thought you were
chemicals.
looking for that meme.
No, I've
That
seen
smart
it though.
look.
I've seen it several times. Yeah, it's a shame when chickens die, cost of eggs go up. I was looking for the cost of chemicals for next year's budget. What we're budgeting for. So I agree with you. Costs have skyrocketed, and there's no clear end to that in sight. We've all been hit with, that's just the way it is. I don't know if there's anything we can personally do about it. It is what it is. And it would take more than just a small metro district to make that change occur nationwide, worldwide. So that's my piece on the chemical costs.
Do you want that figure?
Sure, yeah, what is it?
So in the 2026 budget for 20 TAC 430, TAC 7242, so this is water treatment, it's 380,000. There's a couple other chemical costs associated with that budget, but that's the most significant one.
Out of a total budget of what for that?
This is going to be a rough figure. So without the capital, I believe that is 42
Yeah, just operational.
minus 26, about 16.
16 million?
Yeah. Actually, let me go up and get that number.
Yeah.
So the water enterprise, personal and operating expenses about 14.1. And then there's capital equipment of 1.4, and then the capital projects of 26.8 million.
Guys have anything else that we,
I believe that covered everything that we had.
okay.
Well, I guess what are their thoughts on the ready to use or ready to serve fee? Waiving that.
I would just ask, would you want to remove it across all customer classes? Or would it just be the residential or certain ones? or just across the board, keep it the same as 2025 would be my question.
I think we'd have to be fair and equitable.
Yeah, I think you'd have to do it across the board, because if you keep it with the or the commercial companies, I mean, the consumer pays all that anyway, so it gets passed on to the consumer in some form or fashion. What was I gonna say? So after next year, the end of 2026, no matter what we do, we're looking at financing capital projects.
Continue, yeah, capital, yeah.
Anything beyond what's currently scheduled.
Right, so. Yeah, yeah, I think you'd have to cut it across them. Out of there.
What are your thoughts on that?
I wasn't expecting that question.
Well, it's your guys' budget, right? So we have to work with what we have.
Yeah, and we'd have to adjust some things, even though, I mean, a budget would have to be, I believe, has to be adopted tonight. We would we would still adjust to work within the budget.
Just to add to that, if there's any changes from what we projected that brings the total revenue collected down, okay, you look at me, there's not a concern about future budget amendment. It's more if we collect more revenue than we budgeted for. So if that did happen, impact wouldn't be as challenging for a budget amendment perspective. Just to share a little bit, whatever the analysis that's gone through this with Colorado Rural Water Association demonstrated the long-term capital projects and the operating costs that the department needed. So assuming all projections, and obviously these are opinions and estimates and analysis, the idea is that these revenues are collected to continue funding, also through financing, but to ensure that we are able to meet our long-term commitments for it. If their analysis proves correct and any revenue is dropped for it, it'll have to be made up with either some form of cut, which there are different ways to potentially do that, or the potential of risk of not having enough revenue to couple capital projects causing deferment and delay. So those are just the stipulations.
But even their analysis is fraught with variables. There's variables that are going to affect the budget. There's variables that are going to affect their projections. There's variables. We're always constantly adjusting to unexpected variables. I think with due diligence and, just you guys doing a good job of, budgeting, keeping things under budget. I think we'll be all right, but that's for the entire board to decide. So with no more questions or comments on that, we moved into the budget. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
you might want to announce that the public hearing on the water rates is at an end.
Okay. Thank you, Carl. So I just want to make the comment that
I apologize, and I missed what you said there. Is the public hearing for the water rate still going to include opening for any questions for that?
yeah,
specifically?
I will do that. I'm sorry. So if there's anybody in the audience that wants to speak towards the water rates, please come forward.
Now, I'm not an advocate of raising the rates. However, when you're considering one or the other, I remember Jim Blazing at the first hearing we had on the water saying we have advocated pay-as-you-go systems. Now, if we start financing and float a bond, you're going to lose 20 or 30% of the revenue, and the taxpayers are going to have to pay it anyway. The ratepayers are going to pay it anyway. Why don't we look back for instance, 4 or 5 years, what was our capital expenditures per year? It wasn't 40 million. We were building savings in every fund. That 40 million that we've got in cash was built by the rates. Now all of a sudden we've decided we've got to spend 40 million this year and then start borrowing money to keep it up at that rate. There's been a little creative financing going on in this whole business. Generally accepted accounting procedures included. So let's not get overly whatever. And as to the chemicals and whatnot, it'd be nice to see some numbers on per 1,000 gallons, because that's the way we pay to use the water. How much goes into chemicals out of that per 1,000 gallons? How much of it goes into payroll? How much of it goes into moving funds out of the water enterprise into the parks department or the golf course or someplace else? Let's do some real clever examinations on what's going on here. Now, everybody knows we've got some inflation going on. You know, I don't remember eggs at $20 a dozen, but they did double and they're back down a little bit now. Why don't we look for one thing in the long range? City of Pueblo has a different chlorination system. We've talked about having a pipeline between them and us in case of emergency. We can't do that currently because we have a different chemical application system. We might look at doing that, but let's not just run off half-cocked and think we got to spend $40 million every year and start borrowing money because suddenly something has happened. Nothing has happened. This is still the same. We've got the same miles of pipeline. We've got the same number of roads. Pueblo West, all we're doing is adding customers onto the system. We're not creating a new subdivision or anything like that. And I hope we don't do that with that property we bought up at up north, that section that we bought that somebody wanted to include that into Pueblo West. It's an out parcel, and let's leave it that way it is. So let's not just run off half-cocked, please. Let's think about what we're doing and put some actual numbers on the decisions that we make instead of saying, oh, well, we have inflation of 15%, therefore we have to start borrowing money.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Joe, to answer a little bit of your question real quick, you asked about, do they have the figures on, I have the figures right here in front of us with the chemical costs. For instance, one of from 2020 to 2025, the chemical costs went from $1.13 a pound to $1.68 a pound. Same poundage, same amount, went from $19,413 to $28,828. And that's just in a 5-year span. And that's why I'm saying, how are we pigeonholing ourselves into a situation where these people can just raise costs at their own will because it's proprietary?
Well, that's why I mentioned we should look at the
Right.
system that Pueblo West has compared to the city of Pueblo.
Right.
One of the problems that,
And we don't use fluoride.
what's that?
We don't have fluoride in our water, so that's a cost savings. We don't have to use fluoride.
Yeah, and in my opinion, we shouldn't have it either. If you want to fluoridate your teeth, brush them with fluorine toothpaste. Everybody knows that's a better way to do that anyway. That's a little bit off the subject, but at any rate, the system that we have, we need to look seriously. How many really serious incidents have we had with our chlorination system when they roll in a new tank and they get hooked up to it and have a leak and have to evacuate the whole office and all that sort of thing? We need to take a serious look at that and some long-range things. But I think you'll find that the problems cost-wise savings, the chemical isn't the big thing that you need to look at. We've got some other problems over there that we've got to deal with. But mainly, I would imagine I couldn't get anybody in the water department to admit it, but they would like, there are people that would like to be a standalone like the Pueblo Water Board is, where they don't have to fool around with Pueblo's taxes for groceries and so forth. The water board is independent and they don't move any money in and out of it. Our system is not set up that way. We move money in and out of the water enterprise. It's a revenue source and it's a cash cow. And if we quit doing that, we've got more than enough money with the existing rate structure to run the water and wastewater system. Plain and simple. That's where your cost savings is. We're boogieing the books.
Joe, I'm gonna have to totally disagree with you on that. There are laws against that from an enterprise to a general fund account, and we're audited every year, and that's just not true. Sorry. I know you've been saying that for years, but that's just not true.
You say it's not true, I say it is true. And
Okay.
believe me, remember when I first went on the board? We got an audit report. I held it up and I said, now is this going to be public? And they said, oh no, we're not going to give that audit report out as public. That's for the board only.
Okay,
And
we're
there
getting,
are
we're getting a
so
little bit off
many-
of a subject here, which is the rate increase.
It has to do with why we think you have to have a rate increase because of how we're spending the money.
That I would agree with.
Right.
Fine.
And that's what
Why
we're
we have
trying to get
42
to the
million in.
bottom of.
Mr. Potter said in his early statement, said we won't always agree on things. And believe me, that's one place we're never going to agree. Start talking about the water we give to the golf course.
Okay, let's move on, Joe.
It's accounted for.
Comments, too.
That's what hearings are about, Bill.
Water rate increase, we're not talking about the golf course water. We know there's a leak at the water at the golf course, and we're addressing that. Joe, I've looked at the budget. I can't see that we're blatantly in your face moving monies back and forth between the two enterprises. The only question that I have ever had was the salaries that are paid for on the administration side out of the water funds, but the state law also allows that. I'm sure that we can monitor things better and more closely, and we can do things better, but I don't think anybody is doing anything illegal.
Inappropriate.
I can share to that if that's
Go
okay.
ahead.
So we will, I think, we've done at least an initial analysis just to review on, I believe it was 2023 into 2024's budget. Hey, Joe. Joe was on the budget committee for that and actually did bring forward that concern about how the cost allocation was for if there's a finance director who is right now in the general fund and serves both the enterprise and the general fund, how do you ensure that if they're serving both entities, that they're fairly basically being paid, because an enterprise fund should run self-sufficiently, which means if they're outsourcing some of their work, payroll, HR, any of those things, then reasonably the folks doing that would then be in part paid by that enterprise. So that's what the cost allocation does. So actually Joe was a part of evaluating what that could look like. Happy to continue, reevaluating it and adjusting it as it needs. But that's where the cost allocation actually comes from. And I just wanted to remind that, to that point, yes, that is where those costs can be associated with the general fund, providing a service to the enterprise. The parks aspect, Parks pays for its water. Joe was actually instrumental in being able to make that change. He proposed Parks begins paying for its water. It's in the budget, so those changes did take effect. To that point, how the board decides to do those things is within the board's prerogative, but that change was effective, I believe, in 2024's budget. So we have addressed those things, and we're happy to continue evaluating it. And to your point, seeing those actual numbers, happy to dive into it.
Thank you. And we can be responsible on how we spend the capital projects. I think prioritization list is crucial, and sometimes things get pushed back if we don't have the money to do it. But I just think management is key, and we're not doing anything that is detrimental to the district. Anybody else? Anybody else have anything to say? All right, we'll close the public hearing for the water rates and move into the public hearing for the budget. Right? And that's Ms. Karen Cordova, our Finance Director.
Good evening, President Vickers, Vice President Axworthy, board members, Karen Cordova, Finance Director. Right now is the hearing portion of the budget. I just wanted to offer that we did make the adjustments that you suggested to the salaries, and that is all in the adopted budget that is presented tonight for your consideration. I don't know if right now you want to ask the audience if there's any comments, and then we can go into resolutions if there aren't any.
We could do that if anybody out there has any questions on the budget while Karen is here to answer it.
I got a question.
Okay, so nobody in the audience. Okay, now we'll open up to the board. Mr. Roberts?
Can you tell us what the low end of the percentage of salary increase is and the high end, percentage-wise? And give us a dollar amount comparable from 2025 to 2026 based upon one particular salary for each of those ranges?
You're talking, is there any
when we
particular?
talk about percentages for the public, they don't know what we're slicing that pie with.
Okay.
Okay, so if it's $75,000 and they're getting a 14% increase, I think it's good public knowledge that they know that this 14% increase equates to an $89,000 salary or something like that.
Okay, if I understand you correctly, if you were to look at page 25-2, which is the beginning of our salary ranges by position, if you were to take an accountant's salary, for example, the very first one, the minimum salary would be $71,838. If you increase that, actually, you would start at the mid-range, which is $89,799. The way these are calculated is 80% of that is the minimum for that salary range, and 1.2 is the high end of that salary range. So do you have the budget, Bree?
So we're talking about a 1.2% increase?
That's the range. So you take the midpoint of the salaries, it would be way, 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 way back.
Thank you.
Oh, back up.
There is no
Okay.
page 288.
There's no 288, there are sections.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry about that.
Sorry, just for, yeah, 25-2, if you have the budget book in front of you, if you're looking online or if you're looking at the total packet, the page number that they reference is probably one that gets to you. If you're looking at a manual budget or fiscal budget, it'll be at one of the last pages.
So for example, as I was saying, if you take the mid-range of an accountant, it's $89,799. 80% of that is the minimum range, which is $71,838. And the maximum range, which is $1,758, is 1.2% of that mid-range. So an employee's salary can fall anywhere from the minimum wage to the maximum wage.
And just to be clear, Karen, we're not proposing that all employees get a 14% pay increase.
No.
Right? So
No.
This
It
is,
is based on where they are, where they currently are, with a 1.022% raise.
So I think for figures of what looking for, it's
2.2%.
2.2% is the COLA, for somebody in that range, which is 71,838 at minimum to 107,758 at maximum, the person at the or minimum would get a 2.2% increase, which is equivalent to about 1,580 annual increase. The person at mid is about $1,975. The person at max would be $2,370. So if you're looking at that total range, that would be their personal impact depending on where they fell in that range.
Well, I think that's a better clarification for the public, for a
Good.
better understanding, rather than just throwing percentages out there, so
Right.
appreciate you doing that.
Sure. All of the positions that we have
Thank you.
in the district are identified in this salary scale. And whenever we post a position, these salaries are posted in that job posting.
And to that point, which I think is a great question, asking like what is the physical, like the financial impact, that's the equivalent of a 76-cent or a $1.14 per hour difference for that min to max. That's a good question.
Most people in the public, they deal better with numbers than they do percentages.
Picture's worth 1,000 words.
How much you got in your wallet?
Mr. Pasternak, do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
Mr. Potter?
No, thank you. Mr. Axworthy?
I'm going to leave it alone. I said my piece on Friday. We still increased the budget by $1.13 million for personnel expenses, even though we had a $2.4 million shortfall last year, or this year, in terms of just salary, meeting the salary budget. So we'll see what happens.
So,
We'll have to keep an eye on it.
I can clarify, because I think I mentioned it Friday, but just for the record, when we went back, the direction to go with the 2025 budget, increase the salaries by just the COLA amount and just the new positions, we ran into an issue with those were based in the system with actual people, with their actual pay, with people who have left the district, with people who have come back to the district, or not come back, but any changes that have happened within that system, we couldn't replicate that because 2025 budget isn't the same as the 2026 personnel. So we did try to recreate and be able to do it. I think during that process, and where some of the increase came from, was we recognized there were actually two positions that hadn't been accounted for, and they were trainees, the C&D trainees. So that's where there's about a $100,000 difference to that. So did try to be able to do it. I think we found in the system that we weren't able to replicate the same data for it without changing the entire system, meaning we're no longer budgeting for the actual FTEs or full-time employees anymore. So I apologize, that is what ended up happening.
So how much of the, off the top of your head, can you tell us how much of that increase is COLA?
2.2.
Out of the 1.1 million, how much is COLA?
Christian might have that number.
If you, 1 sec, I'll try to find the analysis. My recollection was 300,000, but I don't know.
That sounds about right.
So if you have around 300,000 in COLA, and then you have the two positions that you're gonna fill, are those $100,000 positions?
There were, so it was
Yeah.
the two positions that were missed were the 100,000. There was the 4 3-year effective positions new, which was about 300,000.
So
The
you
rest was the challenge of trying to be able to recreate the 2025 data with the 2026 personnel. So, for instance, if we budgeted somebody who was here in 2025 and we used their actual pay with expecting the adjustment, and they're no longer here, we couldn't go back and utilize their pay, because now there's a new person potentially in there. And conversely, if there was a vacant position, that now still has a vacant position, that might have stayed the same. The way our payroll system and our finance system talk to each other is we use actual data and then actual people. We have taken, like the 1.05 initially was a way to override, but we took that by actual people and did that for the position. To try and recreate that when you have, that might have worked for, let's say, the admin department, because nobody changed for it. It wouldn't have worked for fire, it wouldn't have worked for parks if there were changes to people during it. That's what we ran into.
And we're gonna address some of this when we revisit the CPR and what we had talked about at Friday's meeting.
I think in the 2027 budget process, as we look at forecasting budget in the future, the challenge for this one was that we over budgeted, and we did address the 1.05, but not as significant as I think the 2025 budget Vice President Axworthy's point of the shortfalls we experience. So I think we'll look at different ways to budget within the software, so that way we don't run the risk of not budgeting for FTEs to be able to show the actual impact and risk departments running under, while also addressing the overall compensation of the system and being able to evaluate that going forward. Is that just question?
I think, and the concern I kind of echo with Director Axworthy is salaries, you know, have come up quite a bit in the last couple of years, which is, as long as we're paying fairly and equitably, that's fine. But I think as the board, we want to just keep an eye on, make sure we're not going the other way too quickly.
I'd like to make a comment, and it addresses Director Pasternak's concern earlier. This, for the 2027 budget, I would recommend that we start working on salaries come March, April, as soon as we have some
This year.
some numbers.
Yeah.
And if you tell us that salaries should be $10 million, then we need to work towards that 10 million. If that means holding on positions, new positions, we hold on positions. If it means no COLA, we hold on a COLA. If it means a reduction in force to get to that 10 million, then we need to start working on that early in the budget season.
I don't think we're looking to do that, Karen.
No, I'm just
I think
saying, we have some, you know how it goes in the school,
Yeah.
in the school district
Right.
as well. You start working on those early.
Right, no, absolutely. You know, I think the only reason this was brought up to begin with was of the shortfall that we saw from expected salaries for 2005,
Yeah.
which would finish off this year, and budgeted. There was $2.4 million sitting there that we had budgeted for but did not use.
Yeah,
And then we were on top of that, adding another $2 to $3 million in additional payroll expenses for 2026 originally.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made me say, hey, wait a minute, why are we doing this? So I appreciate you guys taking another look. Like I said, we'll see how it shakes out. I'm sure we'll probably be under budget next year again
yeah.
when it comes to salaries and personnel expenses. So we'll just see how it works out.
Yeah, those are, you know, some of the hard decisions you make when you start working on salaries.
Yeah.
And we need to make them early if that's the direction we're headed.
I
But
think if anything, we're looking at making the salaries better by including the
Yeah. Yep.
the evaluation criteria.
Yeah, and you know, people
That's what to be
sometimes
reflective
don't-
of actual costs.
Sometimes we don't fill positions because we can't find someone, but we don't give up our position, you know.
Right.
We keep holding it till we do find that person. It could be a year or two before we do that, so those kinds of things happen in the budget.
So in the meantime, with those positions, we're assigning those duties to somebody else?
Yeah.
So they got additional duties, or are they getting additional compensation?
The
In
one
a
that
perfect
comes,
world.
it's,
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
yeah,
What's fair is fair, you know?
yeah. I can't speak to that. I don't have one of those positions. I know that there's a few, or maybe parks and water, wastewater. So I don't know if they can speak to what they do.
I can probably speak to at least our personnel policy. So tonight before the board, within authorized positions, if there are new ones, those didn't take into account this year because we're authorizing them next year. But if there was an authorized position that's open and has an impact when it's vacant, there is in the personnel policy the ability to award what's called step-up pay. And that allows, hey, this person is stepping up into that role, or an interim role to be able to step into that. It's a max 10% for that person. So you offer them that to be able to compensate them for taking on those additional duties. And those case-by-case basis. But sometimes, for instance, if two people were to step up, they might both get 5%, for instance, but that max 10% exists. That's our current policy.
Yeah, it reminds me of the old corporal who is now an acting jack, not getting paid for the extra duties and responsibilities. Thank you.
I appreciate your comments, Karen. You know, that's one of the toughest things that I think the board has to deal with, and that's the salaries of the employees, because, you know, nobody wants to mess with somebody else's livelihood.
Right.
You know, it is important. And I can't, you know, stress enough that in our role, we have not only the employees to look out for, we also have taxpayers to look out for, and ratepayers. So we, you you know, we're balancing something that is a challenge, but, so thank you. Anybody else? All right, we'll close the budget hearing, and
Do we do when do we do the resolutions?
right now,
Okay.
The resolutions will be in the action items.
they're in the
so-
action items.
All right.
So we'll move, as soon as I scroll back. Yeah, we're done with the budget.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Before I sit down, are we going to move to action items?
Before you mean step away?
Right. Sorry, before I step away.
You are sitting down. I know. And hey, it's early. So let's move into action items then. So
Okay.
number 1 is going to be the approval of the 2026 budget.
I have three resolutions before you. The first one is the resolution to appropriate sums of money. The general fund, this is appropriating the expenditures for 2026. General fund, $17,875,245. Capital projects fund, $11,895,933. Conservation trust, $719,142. Fire sales tax, $5,703,868. Community neighborhood development, $792,140. Water, $42,432,780. Wastewater, $11,988,650. Swimming pool, $143,277. Parks donation fund, $149,300 for a total appropriated expenditures of $91,700,335. The next resolution is to actually adopt the budget.
Do you want
We want to do
Oh.
this first.
Sorry.
one at a time here?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution, the Pueblo West Metropolitan District appropriate sums of money.
Second.
I have a motion seconded to approve the resolution of the Pueblo West Metropolitan District to appropriate sums of money. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Karen?
Okay. Next resolution is to actually adopt the budget.
Yeah.
Do you want me to summarize it? It's just basically adopt the budget.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution to adopt the budget.
Second.
I have a motion to approve the resolution to adopt the budget. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 3.
Okay. Third and final resolution is to set the mill levy. This year, we had a few different challenges with the new Senate bill and the House bill that was introduced. We did set the mill levy, the total mill levy, at 20.23 mils, which is broken out 20.223 mils for operating and .007 mils for refunds and abatement, levied against the assessed value of $462,658,840, which will generate revenue of $9,359,588.
Christian, does
So-
this take into consideration the new 5.25, 10.5 formulas? Which is,
Yes, I could speak to it.
yeah,
So
why don't you clarify
we
that?
went through a detailed calculation to see if we needed to change the mills. And it would have reduced the revenue by about $310,000. But it was recommended that we keep the mills at the same level for now, and that we ask that in November, we look at maybe a resolution to keep that increase in mill levy. Did I say that right, Carl?
At a new election,
At a new
Yeah,
election.
just-
right. But with regard to the 5.25 analysis on the cap, this resolution does reflect that. And we our firm, Carolyn Steffel, did some close looking at that issue and came to the same conclusion that the Special District Association and CML came to, that the application of the statutory language means that you look at it every other year, not every year. So it's effectively a 10.5% every other year rather than the 5.25.
In 2026 being the last year of the Tabor timeout.
Right. So if I, correct me if I'm wrong in understanding this, the impact of that in the collection might be that it reduces the amount collected for the aquatic center or the indoor pool from that Tabor timeout, not impacting the overall budget.
Right.
So I'll make a motion to approve the resolution of Pueblo West Metro District to set the mill levy.
Right, just, I don't know if it's,
I'm sorry.
if we need to amend it, but it says on the secretary on this one. I think it needs to be Gregory Roberts. Or if it's treasurer.
Yeah, I saw that on there
swap
earlier.
to
You cut-
treasurer.
Good kid.
The other ones were good, but I just noticed it on this one right now.
Director Pasternak, I can edit that before it gets sent out for
Okay.
approval, but if you want to approve the actual resolution as the wording is stated, with just that amendment of the secretary portion, I can get that handled before it's sent out tomorrow.
Okay, so we don't need an amendment?
Thanks, Bree.
I can say it.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to approve the resolution of Pueblo West Metropolitan District to set the mill levy with the following amendment, naming Greg Roberts as the secretary. My apologies. Combine the two of you, that's a weird animal.
I second the motion.
I have a motion to approve the resolution to set the mill levy with Greg Roberts as the secretary. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Hey. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we're back to water and sewer rates.
Good evening once again, board. There is a suggested resolution in the board packet to adopt the rates as presented, but based on the discussion a little while ago, it would, I believe, need to be amended to just say not including rate increases for sewer readiness to serve, I believe is what the discussion was.
Essentially, if somebody were to make that motion forward,
Right,
that language
yeah.
forward, obviously if it's voted, then the adjustment would take.
Okay. So I'll make the motion, and you guys, then I'm gonna open up for discussion, so you guys can weigh in on that. So I'll make the motion to approve the water and sewer rates, with the exception that the sewer readiness to serve fee be eliminated.
I second that
Maintain it-
motion.
Maintain at the 2025 rate.
Not eliminate the.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to eliminate it, only on the new one. So let me restate that. I withdraw that motion. Let me make this motion. I make a motion to adopt the Pueblo West Metropolitan Sewer, Water and Sewer and Utility Department fee schedule, maintaining the sewer ready-to-serve fee at 2025 levels. So it could be open for discussion.
Oh, I guess I'll second it.
Okay.
Right?
Do you guys have anything else to add, or? You okay with that?
The only thing I'd add to that is that it doesn't affect the entirety of the Metro District.
Well, it affects the people that have sewer.
Correct.
The rest of the district, so the water service fee affects everybody.
Right.
So the sewer people, the septic people don't pay it.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
You're right. Oh, that's, well, then change or amend the motion.
No, I'm just, I'm okay moving forward as long as this is the last fee increase that we see until we figure out how to service the entirety of our district.
The only thing of,
for full build out.
yeah, the only thing for reference for the board as far as, especially when we're talking about readiness to serve, it's the existing customer base. I think, oh, you're talking about the overall rates and okay,
Yeah, yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah, so do we have a second already?
Yeah.
Go for it.
So I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you. Next is water tap allocation by Elisa. Remind me of your last name.
Velasquez.
Velasquez. Thank you.
Elisa Velasquez, Water Resource Manager. Hello, board. I am bringing back to you guys the conversation about the tap allocation for 2026, 2027, 2028, and 2029. Based on our new water resource and tap analysis that we acquired last month, we are proposing allocating 200 taps for 2026 through 2029, with a reevaluation in 2029 for the following years, as far as how many we want to allocate for those years. Some information that will be 190 for 2026 that are rolling over, so only 10 of the new allocated taps will be for 2026, but that will total a 200 number. So we can take a look at that chart again if we need to, but perfect. So the green are the new allocated taps that we basically received from our last analysis. Orange would be carryover, and then blue would be previously allocated in 2021 when we had our last analysis. Any questions?
And the board still has its bank of water tap?
Yeah, this doesn't affect that.
Yeah. I was glad to hear, I think it was your presentation, that we're getting very close to alleviating our dire water situation.
Yes. Water moves slow, so by very close, just keep in mind that, it might not be in the next few years, but a lot closer than we used to be, which is a very exciting piece of news.
You mind highlighting what you explained to us on Friday in the work session for the public tonight?
I have it summarized. I can just go.
Oh, you
Go
You
for
mind?
it.
All right.
Yeah, no,
All right. Because I didn't see very many viewers for Friday's meeting, so I put this together to make sure that we can cover it. So, first of all, the report that we received was very eye-opening, and again, I appreciate providing that. The report shows that Pueblo West has water, despite, as Bill mentioned, all of the reports that Pueblo West is dry. The 2024 water demand is 5,150 acre feet per year. For full build out, the projected need is 8,575 acre feet per year. To determine the water taps, a very conservative approach was used to determine the number of taps available, 15,000 total taps, without a significant reduction in water stored in Pueblo West accounts in the Pueblo and Twin Lakes reservoirs, as quoted in the report. We also talked about the need to identify how much storage we have in the Pueblo Reservoir. The report refers to an obligation for the Metro District to pay for 8,625 acre feet by the end of 2025, as defined by the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation. The report also states that we currently have 1,000 acre feet purchased in the Pueblo Reservoir through the Southeastern Colorado Water Conservancy District, but we can purchase up to 6,000 acre feet with that contract. When we look at our total water portfolio, looks like we're currently using roughly 35% of our total water portfolio, which is 6,230 feet, give or take. We have 5,560 acre feet in Twin Lakes, 240 acre feet in the Colorado Canal and Lake Meredith, 30 acre feet in the Wheel Ranch Ditch, and we're currently able to use 400 acre feet of the Hill Ranch project. We have 12,500 acre feet unallocated. We don't have guaranteed access to 1,200 acre feet of Hill Ranch water until 2030, right about there. We're not currently accounting for the WWTF and/or septic and lawn irrigation return flows, which is estimated at 2,700 acre feet at full build-out. And we're not currently accounting for the non-tributary water rights or well supplies, which is 7,900 acre feet per year, which is a big chunk. And it's unknown if we're accounting for the long-term exchange and replacement agreements with Arkansas River water providers, which is estimated at 700 acre feet at full build-out. Let's see. The report says we use the yields of our water rights portfolio to meet water demands and fill reservoir storage during average and wet water years. And I've already made my recommendation about water rates, so that's that.
One correction I had, we are accounting for our wastewater return flows through the new pipeline. It's not the full build-out amount because we don't have full build-out yet, but we're accounting for it more than we ever have because of the construction and startup of the
Wild Horse
pipeline. And
So we're just not accounting for the septic and lawn irrigation?
Yes,
I
not
wasn't
septic
sure
and
on
lawn
that.
irrigation
Okay.
yet. Hopefully soon. And then associated long-term exchange with Arkansas River providers, we do use that currently, just not to its full build-out capacity.
Okay.
So those are the two corrections. Otherwise, great summary.
How many acre feet do you think we're currently using out of that?
So we have exchange capacities, but exchange usually means water for water. So the amount we're getting on top of that is probably closer to 1,000, not that 7,000 mark.
You're talking about the well water.
Oh, well water.
That's
Sorry,
what you're
I thought you
talking
meant
about?
exchange with other water providers.
So the report says there's 700 acre feet at full build out for the exchange and replacement agreements with the river.
Yeah, with other water providers not relevant to the wells.
Right.
That's like with other communities that we exchange water with and have agreements with.
Okay. You're saying that's 1,000?
Yeah, roughly.
Currently.
Right now, what we're using of that agreement.
Okay.
And how many wells we currently have online?
Currently one, although we do have our well projects that we're building this year and next year, which will bring 3 more online, hopefully at the end of next year, with the possibility of 2 more in that general area that could be connected with future projects.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I would also just like to say that with the examination of the golf course sprinkler system, if budgets, estimates are correct, if and when that gets fixed, that'll add quite a bit of water back to us, so.
That is correct.
That's something that's important for us.
And repairing of the water line replacement, which we're
Yes.
talking about here soon.
Yes, the water line replacement is coming up, but another good project that reduces our waste or leakage water, and in turn increases our water.
Track 327.
Non-revenue water.
Okay. Any questions on this? Water tap allocation?
There is a resolution attached in your agreement whenever you're ready.
I'll make a,
I make a motion to approve the resolution of amount of water taps released in the year 2026 to 2029. I guess we're calling it Resolution 2025 for the water tap release, of 2026 to 2029 for the Pueblo West Metro District.
second.
We have a motion to approve the resolution to approve the water tap released in the years 2026, 2029. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next is our biosolids removal and hauling services by Mr. Kevin Love.
Good evening, Board. Deputy Director, Utility Operations. Per our discussion on Friday, I bring the resolution for the agreement with Denali as the contractor for our biosolids handling contract at the wastewater facility.
Nothing new here, guys. We've talked about it pretty good. Friday, any questions?
No questions here.
Actually, and Kevin does not know this, I got an email this afternoon regarding some additional terms that the winning bidder suggested we incorporate in the contract. Have you seen those?
No, sir.
Michael Winters sent them to me this afternoon. They were substantive changes, particularly to sections 7F and G. And I would ask that if the board approved the award, that it be subject to a final negotiated contract on those issues.
Okay, we can add that in motion.
Would you prefer we wait until we see the final
That was gonna be my question.
final costs associated with
rather
the
wait.
contract?
That's always best. I hate to spring that on Kevin, but I just came across
You have that right.
earlier today, and I missed the opportunity to speak with Mr. Winters this afternoon.
When is the contract supposed to take shape?
I
The end of
believe,
this year.
yeah, the end of this year.
So do we need a special
We'll have
meeting
to have a
to
special meeting to do it.
approve it?
Well, why? I mean, what's the danger of approving the contract subject to the acceptable negotiation?
There isn't one. If we're unable to agree on those terms,
Yeah.
then we would bring it back to you, or we would have a special meeting.
What's the-
Otherwise, we should be able to iron out these details. The details are fairly straightforward. They're allocation of liability having to do with the district's sovereign immunity, and how there's the one thing that I found not helpful was a provision that suggested that the contracting parties could limit the hauler's liability to third parties, and I don't believe that's true. So those are the kinds of issues that I think we need to take up with the hauler and just make sure the contract addresses those issues correctly.
And if you don't approve those, then their contract would be null and void.
Yeah, if we can't come to closure on that, then we'll come back to you.
That's what I suggest, guys, so we don't have another meeting.
And I apologize for the late notice.
All right, so I'll make a resolution awarding,
Motion.
what did I say, a resolution? I'll make a motion awarding a resolution, awarding IFB 2025 WW 001, subject to the final negotiated contract amendments that were given to our procurement manager.
Second.
I have a motion to award the resolution IFB 2025-WW-001, subject to contract amendments presented by our procurement manager. I'm starting to remember everything. Is that close enough, Carl?
That'll work.
Okay.
And that we would be back to the board in a timely fashion if we're unable to reach closure.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is the water main replacement for tract 337.
That's correct. We talked about it on Friday in regards to 337. This bid was won by Miller Pipeline. This will help reduce our water concerns in that area as well as the maintenance concerns, bringing those service lines, I believe 187 of them, to the main street. This will also help with our fire prevention in the area. Were there any additional concerns or questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution approving the award of IFB 2025 WA 2404 for track 337 water main replacement in the Pueblo West Metropolitan District.
Second that motion.
I have a resolution, I have a second to approve the resolution award of IFB 2025-WA-2404, track 337 water main replacement. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Kevin. Request for additional funds.
All right, so on the request for additional funds, I spoke with some of our operations team, specifically the plant water manager, in regards to the age of the clarifiers media. I was informed that that was installed somewhere around 2022, so we could potentially get 16 more years out of it, as the typical age longevity for clarifier and filter media is around 20 years. I did put in the 2 proposals for the additional new media, which alters the cost. I did put in the 2 different resolutions, depending on how the board would like to proceed forward. One with the new media and one with the reuse of the current media.
And that was gonna be a cost savings with
The reuse would save.
revitalizing the old media.
Correct. As it's only about 4 years old, those cost savings are around
$6,000,
correct.
I think it was.
Around 56.
Anybody else?
So one was 97,000 and the other one's 160.
110, I believe, is the first the cost with the reuse, and then 164, 500, correct.
So I'll make a motion to approve the resolution amendment for the approved IFB 2025 WA 2503 water treatment plant filters and clarifiers for the additional amount of $110,000, and while reusing the filter media.
Second.
A motion seconded to approve the resolution for the IFB 2025-WA-2503 water plant treatment filters and clarifiers for the amount of $110,000. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you,
Thank
Kevin.
you.
I'm gonna have a lot of stuff to sign tomorrow.
Go ahead, Carol. I'm fighting my computer.
Okay, I thought you were going to say what was next on the agenda, but I just sat down.
Is yours doing
good
the
eve-
same thing mine is?
There, so we're a professional service agreement with the Cinza for indoor pool design.
There you go.
Carol
Good evening. Good evening, Board.
Cosby.
Carol Cosby, Director of Parks and Rec. We're here tonight with a professional service agreement. We discussed this on Friday. At that time, we were working with negotiating some of the things, and everything is now negotiated, and we're good to go on the service agreement. It has all been updated in your packet. And this is a professional service agreement with the Cinza for the indoor pool, and it would be just for the pool building itself. As the project advances, there will be more amendments to the PSA to include on-site improvements as well as off-site improvements. And again, this would be on Site 2, which is on Assembly and McCulloch, just so everybody knows where the indoor pool we're looking at being built. So in front of you is a resolution and a agreement for the board for their consideration of approval. The cost is $535,830, and what was taken out was the construction part of the administration in the original charges and fee table that was provided to you on Friday. Are there any questions?
I still have a question, and sure, you can probably answer this. Why do they pull the permits? if they're not the general? Why aren't they just designing the building and then our general that we pick from the bid process pull the permits?
The general will pull the building permit. They will be working with planning to review the plans. They'll work with the state through CDPHE and those entities to get permits for the water and all the pool-related items.
Okay.
But the contractor has the actual permit.
Okay. Just point of clarification, would those be better off stated as fees instead of permits, or?
Probably, yes.
Okay. That's all, that's the only question I have. Any questions?
No questions.
Make a motion to resolution approving a professional service agreement with the Cinza Architecture for Design Services for an indoor pool, Pueblo West Metropolitan District.
Sorry, I do have a question.
It's okay. Somebody second it, if you
Second.
want to second it. Now.
Okay. So in the updated document, it says step 5 to be added via amendment at a future date. Step 5 is the fees listed above, to include leadership support and presentations to the Metro District. Is that what I'm reading?
That's the permit, the construction administration, everything that comes after we put it out to bid.
So they're gonna just charge us a different rate at that time, or, because that's not included in the 535, 830?
That amount is going to be modified at a different time because we don't have the civil package in there. So there will be.
Oh, okay, so we don't know about the road improvements and all that
Correct,
stuff.
all the on-site
Gotcha,
and
gotcha,
off-site
okay, all right.
improvements happen.
So that's
Okay.
still up in the air.
Gotcha, okay.
So we wanted to just eliminate that for now until we know at a later time a better cost.
Okay, so it will end up being more than that.
Yes, it
Yes,
will.
sir.
But we're down from what we were
Yes, we are
Friday,
down.
about 60,000.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
And they ended up adding in
Yeah, the IT and,
geotech for the building. We added that in because we need that for the foundation design and things related to the building itself. So that was added, that was, I think, 11,000.
Yeah, 11,550. Also the technology systems and the IECC lighting controls that we discussed on Friday,
yeah.
that were the optionals that were added in after the fact.
So those were added in and then the step 5 was taken out.
Yes.
will there be in, I think the county requires some sort of landscaping plan, right? Don't they?
Yes.
So that's gonna be in this.
That will be, it's part of the site improvements.
Okay.
That will come at a later time.
okay,
Correct. Because we don't know what those are yet.
okay. Thank you for the clarification. Just want to double check.
Okay, so I have a motion seconded to approve. Somebody get me back to the resolution. Okay, to approve the resolution for professional service agreement with the Cinza Architecture for Design Service for an indoor pool for the Pueblo West Metropolitan District. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Before I leave, can I just thank the board, Director Roberts, Director Vickers, for judging the parade. This will be my only time to speak about that. It was a great parade, as mentioned earlier. Director Axworthy, thank you so much for all the cookies for after that parade. It was a great community event, so I just want to thank you guys for being out there and supporting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to applaud you, Carol, and all your staff for your participation in planning in that. A lot of work went into it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, it went really well.
I'll let the staff know, yes, it went very well.
The bonfire was welcome too, from the fire department. We appreciated the bonfire. It was cold.
It was cold, though.
Okay, moving on, we go to Mr. Matt Lund, matters relating to a deed for 658 Spalding Seacom.
Good evening, President Vickers, members of the board. Matt Lund, Director of Business Administration, back before you with an issue we discussed on Friday relating to the transfer of land to CCOM. This was drafted up as an agreement in 2017, which would transfer the land to CCOM after they satisfied certain conditions to include material development on the site as well as employment metrics that they were to hit. When we analyzed those numbers this year, we were provided those numbers by CCOM. We did find them short in years 2019 and 2020. They were supposed to correct those fees in that same year, and that didn't happen for reasons we don't know. Involved staff are not here. So the terms of that agreement have come to an end. It was a 7-year agreement. And as we discussed on Friday, although they were short in those 2 years, we did have COVID-19, which drastically affected their ability to keep people on site in 2020. And furthermore, the initial intent of the agreement was to generate additional employment opportunities within Pueblo West, and they have far exceeded those numbers in aggregate. So the discussion on Friday was to accept their counter of the full amount that they would have been due, which is a number in the amount of $5,357.15. We did have comment that we received from the public that this matter was reportedly handled in the past.
Yeah, thank you.
And we did look into that. Allegedly, that was to do with the price that we received for fiber services to Fire Station 3. We did go back and look at that resolution, and that resolution clearly states that the price agreed to for service of fiber to Fire Station 3 was mutually beneficial to the district and to CCOM, and that's the reason it was discounted in documentation that was board approved, and I don't have anything else to go on as far as that's concerned. So we did follow through that thread.
Did anybody talk with anyone at CCOM about that? To get their
No.
take on it?
No. But with approval of this resolution, we'll be sending them an invoice, and I'm sure we could make any adjustments if they suddenly have a recollection, but we don't have anything board approved amending that agreement.
That's the problem with handshake deals, right?
If that's what it was, then yeah.
Okay.
But CCOM's the one that sent us this counter.
Yeah, they provided that counter, yes.
And just as a reminder, if it's okay to say, there was a meeting with CCOM and our staff early on identifying what we had as far as, any records that could show one way or another what had occurred. At that time in discussion is what produced that.
Yeah,
document you're seeing
there's
today.
been many conversations with CCOM, and
Okay.
that never came up over,
Okay, fair
over
enough.
weeks and months.
Okay, thank you for bringing it up. I was going to do it if
Yep.
you didn't. Okay, so I think we talked about all doing the, accepting the counteroffer, correct? So I'll make a motion to approve the resolution of the Board of Directors of Pueblo West Metropolitan District authorizing the transfer of property located at 658 East Spalding Ave to CCOM Inc. and accepting payment of $5,357.15 to satisfy the financial obligation.
Second.
I have a motion seconded to approve the resolution authorizing the transfer of property located at 658 East Spalding Avenue to CCOM Incorporated and accepting the payment of $5,357.15 to satisfy the financial obligation. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on, we're at sale of district land, 5 parcels within track 367 to Sprouts Farmers Market.
Thank you, President Vickers. Once again, Matt Lund, Director of Business Administration, bringing before you a offer to purchase land from the district from Iron Rock Development, which is the preferred partner for Sprouts Farmers Market for this development opportunity. And I stand for any questions beyond what was discussed on Friday.
I reviewed the contract again, and there is one thing I'd just like to point out in the table on page 3, the number 32, the inspection resolution deadline says not applicable, but the inspection objection deadline says end of feasibility period. So therefore, if they submit an objection, we have no ability to come to a resolution, and I believe the contract would terminate automatically. So I think we'd want to put in a resolution deadline.
And that would be
You'd want
some number of days
plus,
after the feasibility period.
yeah, whatever is, yeah, whatever you guys think. 10 days, I don't know how long you might need. A month.
Yeah, Carl, do you have any particular thoughts on that?
I'm looking for the language now.
Thank you.
Which paragraph, Director?
We're on page 3, and
Mhm.
it's in the table of dates and deadlines,
Mm-hmm.
and that is items number 31 and 32.
Mm-hmm.
The feasibility period.
Thank you.
It's so nice to have you on the board, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will
Appreciate
say,
your specialization.
Looking at items 26 and 27 for survey objection and survey resolution, they have a 30 days after end of feasibility period, so we may just mirror that unless Carl thinks differently, and if the board's okay with that, I believe we can approve the resolution with that change noted.
So your
And then-
question, Director, is that items 30 and 31 seem to be the same date? Is that your,
No. 31 has a date, inspection objection deadline. 32, inspection resolution deadline, says not applicable. So my interpretation
My numbers are
of
different.
not having an inspection resolution deadline, if they were to submit an objection, I believe the contract would terminate
you're right,
automatically,
there,
because you can't
Hmm.
resolve,
Right,
there's no date for
you
resolution.
would be out of contract
Yeah.
at that point.
So I'm just proposing that we say, as Matt suggested, 30 days plus 30 days on to the end of the feasibility period, which is the,
So the date in 32 would be the end of the feasibility period plus 30 days.
correct.
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay. That's it.
What is the feasibility period? Feasibility period is 180?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so to use real estate terminology, the inspection termination deadline would be mutual execution of contract plus 180 days. And then the inspection resolution deadline would be 30 days after that.
Chris, do you want to
Yeah.
throw together a
Okay.
motion?
Make it something I can remember.
Do you have the resolution up on the screen in case you need it?
All right, thank you.
Just what you're gonna add.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the sale of property to Iron Rock Development 2 LLC with Pueblo West Metropolitan District with an amendment to add a deadline for inspection resolution being 30 days after end of feasibility period.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion to approve authorizing the sale of property to Iron Rock Development LLC with an amendment to add a deadline in the inspection resolution being 30 days after
End of feasibility.
end of feasibility. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you for catching that, Director Pasternak.
Sorry for not seeing it Friday.
Yeah, that's all right.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. Next is must be Katrina.
Good evening, Board of Directors. Katrina Peter, Chief Administrative Officer. I apologize for my absence during Friday's work session, but I believe you all discussed the potential schedule for next year and came to the consensus of coordinating meetings the second and fourth Monday of each month. So we have prepared an updated resolution. Thank you, Bree, for doing that. And now it is just up on the board for the board to review. Title 24 Colorado Revised Statutes does require us to designate a public posting place for all public notices and notice of upcoming board meetings. So we have designated that as 63 Spalding. That's our main administration office. And then up on the board, you will also see the dates of all upcoming board meetings based on that schedule that you outlined. We did also review those dates to ensure that there was no conflict with any holidays. So it is now up to the board to approve that resolution, and we will get it posted appropriately both on our website as well as at 63 Spalding.
So this is what we discussed on Friday?
Yes.
One board meeting, twice a month, discussion, action on both?
Yes, essentially, effectively, 2 meetings a month. They're discussion action meetings, no work sessions, both on the second and fourth Friday.
And we're gonna have the employees present for all their presentations and all that stuff? Okay.
And if there are ever any future discussions on trials or changing or any adjustments, they can be handled in coming months, just to discuss if there's anything that comes forward.
And we're doing this trial period for how long?
This will be effectively the board meeting schedule for the entire year. Any new trials we'll propose.
Oh. All right. Rock and roll.
Roll it.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution designating the public areas for posting of meeting notices for the calendar year 2026. Posting location is 63 East Spalding.
A second.
I have a motion to approve the resolution designating the public areas for posting of meeting notices for calendar year 2026 as 63 Spalding. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Katrina.
Thank you.
Christian, one thing I didn't ask is, so when would the packet availability be?
Fair question. I think we're going to try to maintain the week out. Now that we don't
So
have those
Monday
work
to Monday?
sessions, we'll have to trial a little bit to see if there's any challenges towards it, but either that prior Monday since it's a Monday for it, will be what we aim for going forward.
That gives us a week to make appropriate phone calls to different departments for any questions and stuff? Okay.
Good question. Okay, next we got public comments. Any public comments?
There have been no public comments submitted.
Anybody in the audience?
Ooh, good catch.
Okay, board member or district manager closing comments. Do you want to start, Christian?
Sure. I want to say thank you for all who participated. And, it was a fantastic holiday and lights parade. Carol and her team and all our folks in the fire department, operations support, parks, amazing job. Appreciate the chamber and being able to have those cookies and cocoa. I'm sorry.
San Juan Bank.
San Juan?
Bank of San Juan, yeah.
Awesome, thank you. I apologize, I did not enjoy it. I did enjoy watching the embers go, and there was a little kid trying to pick some of them, but he was safe and he was good. I do want to share appreciation. Dr. Roberts, I appreciate the earlier comment. Thank you very much, and I appreciate being able to work with the board and you and be able to, if those things do come up, we address them, and that was very kind and appropriate, and I appreciated that. And I think that's all I got.
All right. Mr. Ashworthy.
No comments, sir.
Mr. Pasternak.
No comments, thank you.
I have something I'd like to share with the community and the staff and directors. I wrote this a couple years ago, but I like to share it. And James 1:17 says, "Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow due to change." And I call this you. It says, during this time of year, it's Christmas time, so during this time of year, it's easy to get caught up in this purposely structured, fast-paced, monotonous, and often tedious task of shopping around looking for the perfect gift for those that we love so dearly. It is easy to focus on the mundane. By doing this, we often forget about the gift that truly matters, the real perfect gift, you. You spending time, precious time with your family and friends. While you are with your family, please take your time with them, love them, be at peace with them, and enjoy those precious, rare moments with them. Most importantly, please reflect with them on what this time of year and all that follow are truly about. What it's all truly about. The birth of a baby. That baby was Jesus Christ. Christ our King, our Savior, who died for us so that we may live a life free from sin's grasp. A freedom like no other. A freedom that allows us to peacefully enjoy eternal life. It allows us to love others by showing them the light. Remember, God sent his Son to die for you so that you can enjoy, love, and be at peace with the ultimate gift, the gift that truly matters in his family and in his kingdom, you. 2 Corinthians 9:15. Thanks be to God for his inexplicable gift. Contrary to any other belief, maybe even your own, you matter to someone, but most importantly, you will always matter to him. Psalms 127:3. Behold, children are a heritage from the Lord, the fruit of the womb, a reward. Jesus Christ was born for you. His holy purpose was to die for you, live for you, and rise and defeat death for you. For your sins, because of his love for you, he did it. Amen. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, respectfully from the Potter family. May your blessings be many and your family stay strong for all the years to come.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rodney.
Thank you, Rodney. You're up. You got any closing comments?
I'm all commented out there, buddy.
And I?
How do you follow that, right?
Yeah.
Well, hold on 1 minute. I'll circle the wagons. I'll come up with something.
Did you have anything? No, I'd just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. This is the last meeting of the year, official board meeting of the year. We don't have any unofficial, so contact Christian. But I hope you all have a blessed Christmas. Remember the reason for the season, as Rodney stated. And I just hope you have a blessed holiday season. Merry Christmas.
I do have one comment. See if we can get the golf course to donate a cart for parade night. We were fast-paced trying to get the awards out there, and we came up short.
Which I appreciate bringing up because that there was a lot of hoofing it that night, but it was a good thing because we had more, I think, vehicles or applicants or people who were in the parade than previous years. So a good problem to have, but definitely well noted. It was a run.
You gotta get your steps in, man.
Okay, so that brings us to committee reports, I think. Desert Hawk Management Board meeting. I was not there, so I'm not going to say anything.
Greg, do you want to take it or do you want me to take it?
You can do it. I mean, I got my notes here too.
Go
but
for it.
You do
Go for it.
Okay, so we met on November the 12th, was it? Yeah. And we discussed the water line replacement. Looks like we're getting ready to go in and start looking at 3 potential, in particular, Rainbird was discussed, okay, is coming in and doing the water line replacement for the irrigation system for the golf course.
The RFP is being put out.
Right, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I got that down here further. And then we discussed the golf carts, which one was the best, which one had the most reliability. They replaced those. I think we decided to do half rather than do all.
I don't think so.
In the previous meeting. But we selected a particular model and brand of that golf cart, which is gasoline operated. The suspension's better, it's got more durability and staying power on the course, and just all the way around a better product than the alternatives that we had. There were some electrical alternatives, and we chose to go with what was it, the Yamaha?
Yamaha.
Yeah, the Yamaha. And so we should be on the 17th looking at the RFQs for the new golf course manager position. And we'll be going over those. Right now, I haven't seen any numbers of how many came in for that application, but we're definitely moving forward. It was discussed that there's going to need to be some remodeling of the restaurant area at the golf course to bring things up to code, and that was going to run about $66,000. But just keep in mind when we talk about the golf course, that's Pueblo County. Okay, we have our input, but their financial resources. So, being on the committee has been an eye-opening experience for the last 7 months. Although I do like playing golf, I just don't have much time to do it. But we are moving forward with keeping the golf course operating, and we're also looking at extending the driving range with some Metro District property, and that was part of our discussion on Friday. And I think we all agreed to lease it so that we have more control over the property. If we give it outright to them or they purchase it, we're just going to get a fractional cost over the next 30 years or however long they finance it out on top of what fractional revenue we got coming in from them. So we put the checks and balances in there with a lease option, so that they have to do exactly what they had designed to use that property for. I think it's what, six particular lots that encompass that.
I believe the driving range itself, that
Driving
lot is
range,
just
yes.
one. I'll have to double check, but we did talk about additional lots that the original intergovernmental agreement allowed us to either exercise an option to purchase.
Yeah.
It's one parcel.
One parcel. Thank you.
And that's all the comments I have.
Okay, the next one is 60 sales tax meeting, which was November 18th, and I think Brianne has that report.
I can cover this one.
Or you have that?
Yeah, so I'll just share a quick note for it. In that during the meeting, they shared their third quarter report for awareness and review that had been presented to the Oversight Committee. And this is Pueblo County and the road projects and any road work that had been done thus far, including the financials. Pueblo County also shared that they developed a new website that shares more information about their past reporting and their schedule of specific work types. A quick look on my end showed that the activities for the upcoming road, chip, and slurry seal and overlays with specific locations, which is a pretty good step in the right direction from previous requests about seeing projects or at least intent to be able to complete certain projects for it. I think they acknowledge that there is work to do and they're still refining that site. We've also, not part of the committee, but just to share with the public and share with the board, we have seen a little bit of their data and analysis for Pueblo West Road Pavement Condition Index, so we're starting to see them excuse me, evaluate and assess what essentially the report card of the roads are, and so that will be a good tool metric to see if there is progress or if there is if they're running into issues for it. So still work to be done. I think the committee got to see both of those reports, and I think there's some follow-up as far as committee assignments when it comes to either appointments or reappointing any of those folks there. But that was general tenor of the conversation.
Good. So maybe they're going in the right direction.
I think they're taking steps.
We're trying to get some more information too, so.
Like a snail.
The November 27th COA meeting, I wasn't there, but that was Thanksgiving, so I don't think they had one. Coming up, Pueblo Economic Development Meeting, December 11th. That's 301 North Main Street. Desert Hawk Management Board quarterly meeting. This is this next Wednesday, I believe, December 17th at the Board of County Commissioners Chambers. Also, I'd like to mention Wednesday morning at 8:30 to 10 at Dewdrop Inn.
Correct.
I'll be there and Greg will be there to answer questions from the public. Anybody wants to talk about anything, we'll be there.
So I have a question in regards to the economic development meeting on the 11th. What time is that? Because we have a pool committee meeting
Yeah.
at 9 a.m.
9 to 11:30.
I think that's just for the assigned board member.
Yeah, it's at 3:30.
So they're confirming, but 3:30 PM it sounds like.
I just want to make sure there's no conflict for anybody.
Gotcha.
It's 3:30.
Well, there's only 2 board members at that pool meeting, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is Director Roberts and President Vickers.
That's it.
That's it.
Anybody else have anything important to share? Well, I'll make a motion that we recess for 5 minutes and adjourn this meeting, recess for 5 minutes before going into executive session for personnel matter 24-6-4024F of the Colorado Revised Statutes. It's the board district manager expectations guidance document and the DM district manager performance review.
Second.
So moved. We're recessed.